Hey, what is up, coach? We are back with your third episode of Coach to Coach, and we are going to talk a little topic today. We got to talk MVP. So, coach, before we get into this, let's toast to the topic. How are you feeling?
Excellent, excellent. We got of the three, in terms of Vegas odd MVP's candidates up here. Neither of us feel Josh Allen is the one to win it. We think the debate is between these two guys. So we've got an MVP, the great Star We Are MVP debate today.
That's it is correct. I would second that notion. We don't believe it's Josh Allen. We've got Jackson and Saquon. So I'll reveal the secret. My pick is Saquon. Coach's pick is going to, well, coach, where you at and who you arguing for today?
Yeah, yeah. It's not necessarily that my pick is Lamar Jackson, but I'm going to argue the Lamar Jackson side of things because I think there's a plenty legitimate case there for him to be MVP as well.
Oh, sure it is. I'm looking at
Back to
41
back,
and
back to
4
back MVP.
back to back MVP. So let's get
His
right
third,
into it.
his third overall, but yes.
Okay, well, coach has already started the reasonings. His third overall, back-to-back MVP. He's the best player in the league. Coach, why the back-to-back though? Last year, I understand when you're on a team that struggles to do other things offensively. His numbers last year were, I think, 24 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. Nothing close to this year. Yards weren't there. The rushing was less, but he was making the plays and making his team a top 3 or 4 team in the league basically on his legs. I understand MVP that year. You added Derrick Henry this year, all your numbers go up, but you also added a Isaiah Likely, and you know, so I feel like your offense got better. So when you're putting your team on your shoulders, I understand MVP. When we added some offense for you, it's your third or second or third year of Zay Flowers now. You added Derrick Henry. You can run the ball better. You ran the ball a lot more. Of course, your numbers went up. Makes it easier on your defense. I don't know if that makes you the MVP because we put more things around you, and so obviously you got better, right? That's
No,
why I
I can
feel
definitely
like
I absolutely see that, and I think that, Lamar's team got better. His numbers also went up from what they considered last year an MVP season, and we'll probably get into who they are. Whereas Saquon Barkley came to a team and I don't know how you could say he elevated them to the Super Bowl, where they had what people thought was a Super Bowl roster last year, not good enough. But I guess my thing there is it goes the other way with Lamar Jackson. The same as you said, he won it last year with lesser stats, and did, gosh, twice as much this year almost, it seems.
you no, you that's fair. I give you that. It's just when we look at the stats, right? That's what we have to talk about too. Let's talk about. I'll talk about a stat breaking
No,
the record because the man didn't play the 17th game. He was going to break the record. I feel like if they would have just gave it to him 25 times that game, he's going to get it. And we talked about the numbers. He was going to break
sure.
the record in the same amount of attempts. So I don't care about the 17th game.
Yeah, there you go. I
We
added that there on the expanded stats that he only played 16 games while getting those 2,005 yards. Yeah.
bam. And so right, exactly. And so my point is when you when you get added to a team that basically was they started what 9-1, 10-1 last season, but then fell off the map right once teams figured their offense out. That was it. They got stifled. They couldn't win another game. They couldn't get it together. They were even early. They were winning a lot of close games, so a lot of people didn't count it. Right? They were like, "Oh, well, they're just winning games they shouldn't have even won." We remember that last year with Philly. They bring in Saquon, and he elevates them to not only staying 9-1, 10-1, but finishing with what was it, 15 wins total, 14 or
Mhm,
15 wins,
mhm.
and he's got them in the Super Bowl, literally on
Yeah,
his back. We've
yeah,
seen the
13
injury to
wins I
hurt.
think they had, but they're in the Super Bowl. There you go. And now you're pointing to another big one that's leaning right there towards your argument, down to the bottom of expanded stacks. Team finish. That has to be one that's weighing on you. Your guys' team's in the Super Bowl. My guys' team's out in the divisional round for the second, third straight year.
That's my point. And so I understand MVP. If you want to say he's season MVP over and over and over, that's fine. I know the votes don't go into the playoffs, so we can't count that. We can't look at how far he took his team. But what I'm saying is, you can argue Derrick Henry or Saquon this year, number one and number two, right? Nobody's saying that Jalen Hurts looked like an MVP because now his team's in the Super Bowl and he played a little better and his numbers were a little better. Everybody's saying, look at what Saquon Barkley did for that roster. So why aren't we saying, look at what Derrick Henry did for Lamar Jackson, and we're just handing Lamar Jackson the MVP? Maybe. I don't know. This vote is still yet to come. We're still going to see. It'd shock us both. It would just run it both if it ended up being Josh Allen. But let us know in the comments what you think, whether it's Saquon, whether it's Lamar. Coach, I've got Saquon. I feel like he added the MVP to me is the most valuable player to that team. And what did you do to help that team's overall success? And then so my last year to this year comparison, that's why he gets it for me.
41, 41 passing touchdowns, and over here on the expanded stats, 4 rushing touchdowns. So 45 total touchdowns accounted for. The
A lot.
119.6, the 120 passer ratings high. He's a
Yeah.
unicorn. There's definitely and again, we wanna get into real quickly who's voting. I don't even know exactly. I wish we had researched the list before we came on here of exactly who the voters are. I know them to be media, NFL experts, basically former coaches, former players, long-running
Analysts.
media analysts. Um, who's voting and what they're voting for is kind of the X factor in this whole
Not
thing.
wrong. It'll be close. It's got to be Saquon for me, and I know it really won't be right. This is a quarterback award. It's going to go to Lamar or Josh Allen, and realistically, 41 and 4, 4,100 yards, 915 rushing yards. So the dude's responsible for over 5,000 yards, and like you said, 45 touchdowns. It's equivalent to a Peyton Manning 5,000 yard, 50 touchdown season. Peyton Manning doesn't run the ball, so you've got to add those all, and
Yeah, it's interesting. The debate started before we came on here. It's funny. I think you could even agree 41 and 5, like the numbers you're looking at say Lamar Jackson is definitely a deserving MVP this year. I think what it really your crux of your argument is why did he win it last year and then this year someone almost breaks the rushing record? That's it's not likely
yeah.
that you're not going to win the MVP doing that. Yeah.
Right. No, for me, MVP is you helped get your team over that hump. We've seen the Ravens be competitive. We've seen the Eagles be competitive, but they fell off the map last year. They added a Saquon Barkley. They excelled up that map last year instead of falling off, and they got themselves in the Super Bowl. So
By the way, we're
that to
Cowboys
me,
fans. Are they going to win the Super Bowl?
no, 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 no. He got him there, but
You
go
got him there.
Chiefs.
Hey, and I wanted to point this out real quick. Well, we got a couple more minutes. I'm going to switch back to the main overlay. I didn't put on either this or the expanded their playoff performances, specifically this year. Lamar Jackson wasn't bad. He turned the ball over twice in the AFC Championship game and
Mhm.
divisional game. Yeah. And that's what stopped them from getting there. Saquon Barkley, first time he touched the ball, 70-yard touchdown, 3 total touchdowns in the game, walked him right in there. So I'm
Just
not
saying,
supporting your
coach.
argument here, but hey.
Coach, it sounds like I reeled you in a little bit there. It sounds
Yeah.
like you come to the Saquon side. I like it. No, so go come to the Saquon side. Listen, I'm still upset we didn't get the guy. I was like, well, there's no way, that he's going to go to an NFC East rival and all that stuff, and he sure did. He sure did. So, all right, let us know who you think your MVP is. Is it Josh Allen? Is it somebody that's not on of the three names that we mentioned? You tell us. Was it supposed to be
Comment,
Dak
comment,
last
comment.
year? Yes, it was. Please
Yes,
comment.
yes.
Please like.
No
It
doubt.
was Coach.
That was the way to end it, right? We were just talking about how Lamar had half these stats last year and wins it, while Dak Prescott did have the 36 touchdowns, the 4 interceptions, the similar numbers to this, not quite the rushing
Right.
yards. That's a great point.
They
That's all
don't
we
they
are.
don't want us Cowboys to be great. We'll get out of here and let one last toast to the topic. The topic is MVP. Let us know who yours is. We'll be back at you soon. Peace.